Today, we actually have a case study, and I really like case studies in as much as we're talking about a real person who is representative of a type of person. And so, in this case, we're talking about a real individual woman who represents, shall I say, typifies the woman in our society today. No matter what country you're in, for the most part, if you meet a woman in a major city and she's a reasonably attractive young woman, she is going to display some of the terrible traits that this woman has. So let's take a look at this and make a study of, you know, are these women actually faithful? Uh, there's so much to learn. There is so much to learn. Let's get into it, Saints. I got two things for you. Number one, I got a Tinder profile from this chick. And then secondly, I have for you a video, which is a series of her stories being updated on WhatsApp. A lot of chicks abroad, they tend to use WhatsApp. They kind of use it more in a social media fashion than American women do. All right, so here's her Tinder profile. And as you all can see, there are two big, beautiful reasons that I had to swipe right on Shorty right here. Two big, round, brown reasons I had to swipe right on baby girl right here. And that reason is those nice cheeks she has with those dimples. That's the reason. Anyways, let's take a study of her profile because I think that this is very instructive of the reason why it's actually not appropriate to listen to the woman without running everything she says through a filter and also being in a perpetual state of disbelief. Once I show you the second piece of content from this same woman, you're going to find that, some things are not adding up. And it's very common that with women, things don't add up, especially the ones that are not worth your time. And this is what the average woman represents. So, first and foremost, looking at her photograph, her hair isn't terrible. It's something that you can respect, and the skin tone is lovely. The face is eye, lips are eye. Her profile reads as follows, and this is what we want to pay attention to because this is where we're being set up. Yes, gentlemen, we are being set up to be bamboozled, hoodwinked, tricked, fooled, deceived. Yes, I'm talking about that old Adam and Eve behavior. Here we go. So this individual, let's say her name is Deja. She writes, quote, might sound crazy, but I'm on the quest for love. Now, the first thing I want you all to know is love is something that pretty much everyone is pursuing. A woman, they want love on their terms. They want love without judgment. They want love without work. They want love without sacrifice. They want love without consistency. They want love without effort. They just want to be loved and receive love. And maybe they'll give a little bit of love, but they don't want to earn the love. Earning is not really a concept to women nowadays. They think they should have everything for free. They're very under unappreciative for the most part. And I can give you some examples of that that are quite comical. But anyways, here we go. So she writes, might sound crazy, but I'm on the quest for love. Now, mind you, when someone says they're on the quest for love, you tend to think that they're looking for a long-term relationship. They want something monogamous as a female. They want something stable, predictable. They're serious right now. Okay, cool. And she's 24. She's old enough to be serious. By age 24, you would have completed university. Even if you were on the slow 6-year track, you should have completed university, especially as a female. Women tend to be more studious. They're better at school. So she should have completed school, which means she's out in the real world. She knows what the real world is, understands that there are expenses and it's challenging. You want a male supporter, guide, and protector. That makes sense. That should be where she's at mentally. She further writes after her negative emoji, she writes, looking for genuine love. So you're like, whoa, she's laying it on thick. She's already mentioned love. And she says genuine love. So she must be really serious about pursuing a man who wants to be with her and love her. She writes, quote, absolutely no hookups. Don't even try to waste my time. A long lasting relationship. Now, already we find that there's a level of contradiction between her photograph and her bio. She said absolutely no hookups. Well, what are hookups? Hookups are sexual encounters, right? generally ones that don't have any strings attached and they occur quickly and are fairly, casual in nature. You don't follow up with the person, there's no relationship. And when you're talking about hookups, which is to say sexual engagement or entanglements, this is motivated by, I don't know, the woman like using her sexual lures on you. And looking at her shirt, I mean, I don't think you could have had a lower cut shirt. It's not even possible, right? Like I got on a crew neck. This would be a high cut. And you could have a low cut here, you could have a low cut here, you could have a low cut here. Her low cut is damn near to the belly button. I mean, we're seeing her upper abdominal, which is to say she's putting forward a lot of, I don't know, like sexual energy, you might say. So she got these all out. And you might look at it and say, okay, maybe, this is just one of the few photos she has. Maybe she's broke and she lives in a developing country. She got a raggedy iPhone. Somebody took this picture for her. This is one of her better photos, whatever. Maybe it's just a fluke. She's talking about she wants love and a lasting relationship and no hookups, even though her are all out, which looks very much so encouraging of hookups. Maybe this is just a fluke. So then, you start DMing Shorty, and then she says, "Hey, I'm never on Tinder," which is always a lie. "Let's message on WhatsApp." I'm like, "All right, for sure." So then she hits you up on WhatsApp, and you notice, you know what? Something with her is not smelling right. It's a little bit fishy. One thing we must realize is that love, as I said, is important to the male and female. It's even more important to the female. And if you're a female who's monogamous and you're looking for one man, uh, really, you should only be dating one man at a time. You should only be talking to one man at a time because you got to focus. You got to focus. And when you're focused on one man, you have time to respond quickly. You have presence of mind and interest. You're consumed more so with that one opportunity because it's your only one. You have to value it. When you're talking to many men at once, it's hard to respond on time. And because there's so many of them, each individual guy has a lot less value. And even if one of the guys does have value, you wouldn't know because you can't discover it because you're spreading your attention between many persons. So I was like, she's a bit slow on the responsiveness. I saw that she was updating her stories consistently. So you don't have enough time to respond in a timely fashion, but you have time to update your stories, which would suggest that your your WhatsApp stories are very important to you. Well, why might those stories be important? Do you make money on WhatsApp? Is WhatsApp a proper social media where you make money from posting and getting views? No, not at all. It is pure vanity. And in as much as it's pure vanity, your consistent posts and you're posting disappearing content, right? After 24 hours, your stories disappear. So you're doing something that really in years won't add up to anything. So why are you so motivated to do it? Well, there's only one reason. It's the drug of attention. And when a woman is drunk with the elixir, the intoxicant of attention, can she ever be healed or sobered from that? Probably not, especially if she grew up in the generation where she was raised with the smartphone and with the digital device. So I tell you that, gentlemen, to give you your first warning. Warning number one is to properly categorize these girls early. If you meet a woman who has no real interest in social media of any form and no interest in posting photos and contents that don't add up to a dollar, and she doesn't post content and scantily clad, that is a green flag. If a woman is very consistent in posting, that is a red flag. It doesn't matter what the explanation is, because as you can see with her bio, a modern woman's words mean very little. She's saying things that she feels and she believes them to be true, but in reality, they are actually not fact. And you should think of it like this. Consider when a woman has hot flashes, right? She's going through menopause. She has hot flashes. Now, to her, she feels hot. It's a reality. In her mind, she's hot. She says, "Whoa, it's hot in here." But to everyone else in the very same room, it's not hot at all. That's not the truth. That's not the objective reality. That's just her reality. But to her, it's as true as can be. And you could not convince her otherwise, which is to say, if you were to have a conversation with this woman and say, "Hey, love, you in your own bio are basically suggesting that you want something more conservative. You want true love, you want monogamy, but your appearance, you're not wearing the uniform of a woman who wants monogamy or true love, talking like you want to be a wife, talking like you want a real relationship. So none of this adds up whatsoever. Black chicks who don't have any self-respect, it's like they have so many damn wigs. It's like, who are you today? It's like these are constantly in disguise. It's like, damn, shorty, just grow your regular hair out, moisturize it and comb it, baby. I can respect that. They got more goddamn wigs than a CIA agent overseas. Anyways, here we go. This bit, all these wigs. I have an eerie feeling that this chick is at home right now and she ain't even going anywhere on this particular day, but she did take time to put on some red lipstick, right? Which is a sexual thing. If you ever ask yourself, well, why do women paint the lips red? Because when a part of the body is aroused, the lips, it turns red, it turns to show the passion. And that's why they put on this red lipstick. So this is actually a sexual thing in reality. You ever see your girl heading out the house? She got on some red lipstick. Hey, wipe that off your goddamn face, And sadly, the Freudian perspective that human beings are driven by sex is something you have to take very seriously, in as much as consider the LGBTQ is an entire movement circled around sex. Women, when they dress, they want to feel sexy. Even they confuse the concept of style itself with sexual appeal. And so they don't wear very many clothes, and they accuse men of being sexual creatures. But look at me, I'm covered up. Look at you covered up. So I'm wondering if this bra got a sugar daddy, because I don't know where she works. So here's her first background, right? She kind of has everything blocked out at her family's house and in the room that she's living in. So this is where she actually lives. And that's why there's no background being shown right here, because she lives in poverty. Now, here, I think that this is someone else's home, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it was a dude's home. And here she is with a different wig on, and this wig doesn't even look realistic at all. Like, I'm not fooled in the least bit. I think my grandma had a wig just like this in a brown. Why you're taking so many photos of yourself, it indicates a strong level of narcissism. However, we see that in this case, she's not afraid to get the background of her surroundings. And so it seems that she's more interested in that she's showcasing the background, right? And again, she's never fully dressed in any of her photos, which we need to take note of. And it's going to get worse. I want you guys to really pay attention. The worst thing I want you to uh, the thing that's worse about her is that she's in the same outfit, yet she took about 6 different photos that she posted. And for her to get these 6 photos, she probably took 40, 50 photos and picked the 6 best. But the fact that she thinks there's someone out there who's interested in seeing her, she's not out anywhere interesting. She's not touring anywhere. She's just sitting at home, well, at someone's home. So this shows you how much of an idler and narcissist that she is. And the worst thing is that this is common female behavior. If you were a man taking all these photos of yourself, it would be expected at minimum that you're an influencer. But as a woman, you can just be some random and take a bunch of photos like this and no one questions it, when really we should, because it shows that there's something wrong in your psychology. You're self-absorbed in a bad way. Now, here's 5 angles of her face. Now, here we are again. Now, I think she's back at her true house right here, looking raggedy as hell with this Tina Turner wig. His hair looked like Macho Man Randy Savage. Now, this is crazy right here. When you're that wears a shirt like this, you have no decency whatsoever. You see, especially a woman who is both without shame and doesn't have good levels of cleanliness. The worst part is she's sitting in this dirty room, and you can see in the background there's clothing everywhere. This is living in a state of filth. There's clothing all over the bed. There's no level of organization or cleanliness, and she doesn't even have the shame to say, you know what, let me clean this up before you snap the photo. Or why don't you take an angle to where you ain't getting this dirty, disarranged background? The reason she didn't think to do that is because it doesn't bother her. She's comfortable in fucking filth. That's the worst kind of woman. She doesn't have any standards or shame. There's nothing she won't do. Huh? Yeah, somebody would have tried to take a photo of me. I don't give a fuck if I was in my house or somebody else's house. I'm like, hold on, let me clean some of this up, okay? Now you ain't gonna have me look like a filthy animal. And the woman should have that instinct fivefold what a man does. So what I'm telling you, gentlemen, is this, and you mark my words. If this woman on her own lives in filth and she moves in with you, you guys are going to live in a greater level of filth because you got two people contributing to the filth, and she's going to do all of zero cleaning. Huh? Yeah, you're going to be living in filth with this. And what's worse is she's going to be appalled if you asked her to clean. And she got time to clean because she got time to take all these goddamn selfies. But she ain't going to do no cleaning because that's not who she is. And then she writes, quote, for the sake of this top, I wish my boobs were smaller. How you have in your Tinder profile, A, that you want a long-term relationship with love, and B, you're not going to do any hookups. You look like you would do more than a hookup. You look like the kind of, I come over there and thug you out. I could call the homies and tell the homies to come through. It's Amtrak time. All aboard. Choo choo. You look like you would take the train. I know. Why are you dancing seductively like a stripper for the whole public, for everyone at 7 a.m.? This is the first shit you want to do in the morning. It's 7 a.m. Oh, and you did one story and decide to come back for a repeat. That's amazing. As soon as she take off her underwears, it just flood the whole room with stench. These are demons in the flesh. And the worst thing is that if you are fool enough to buy their story, you got a nigga like me that's ruthless. I peeped her from a mile away. Hit me up like, hey, you want to go out tonight? Nah, I'm at the house. Come through. She's like, okay, but we're just going to watch a movie. Sure thing. No food. I'm maxing. I'm doing the Dougie. I got the tripod up like I'm recording a YouTube video. I'm thrashing. Boom, 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 boom. Book up, book up, book up, book up. Stroking this. But me, I was strapped like a JanSport. You dig? I was strapped like a soldier in Iraq. You dig? Anyways, check this out. This is how you know you're dealing with a dumb. So this has posted up a private conversation that she had with the multitude of niggas that she's talking with. And I don't want to use this term nigga, except that this is probably an accurate term here. You know, I'm being accurate here. So anyways, here we go. The first word that we can see is, he says, obviously, like, we can see her message. She says, price for what? So obviously he says, what does it cost? Right. And then she says, price for what? And he writes, the top. And for those of you who are not in the know, the top means the sloppy toppy, the brain, the Becky, the Lewinsky, the BJ, the throat, the giraffe. I could see this from a mile away. Anyways, she writes, it's not for sale. A normal would have blocked somebody saying something like this. A square would have ended the conversation right here, right now. This nigga respond with a sad face emoji, and he writes, got the link to order it. He's still talking. This writes, oh damn, which is like her, like oh damn, like as though it's funny, like she's cool with this goofy. Then she writes, since I'm single and bitter, you can't get the link. Well, this is the kind of, when she says single, what she means is she a whole bunch of niggas. That's what single means to her. Single used to mean I'm not dealing with anybody. You see, there's levels to it. Used to be I'm not involved with anybody. I'm single. Then there's another level. You holler at her and you're like, oh, you got a man? She's like, no, but I'm talking to someone. See, that means that I'm just engaging with one guy. He's not my man. We might not even went out on a date, but I'm talking to him. I'm focusing my energy and attention so I could get something out of my efforts. But this, she only comprehends the concept of single or in a relationship. She writes, go look for that for your own GF on your own. So right now she's going back and forth. So what you guys should understand is that if she's actually looking for a good monogamous relationship, like she claimed in her Tinder profile, and she specifically is not involved, gonna succumb to any hookups, she would have ended this conversation. If she had any morals, she would have ended this conversation. But not only did she not end it, she actually increased her engagement in the conversation. Marquette, what's the evidence of that? It's as plain as day. He said some fouls, and look at how many words she responded with. She's increasing her engagement and she's responding in a fairly timely fashion, isn't she? She's engaged. He messaged at 10:30, or look, he messaged some foul. She replied at 10:29. He replied at 10:29. She replied to his foul at 10:29. He replied at 10:30. She replied to his foul at 10:31. Then he replied at 10:32. This replied at 10:33. So what it's teaching you guys, and when I say, be aggressive, do X, Y, and Z, and these nerds are like, you can't do that. That's going to get you slapped or that's going to get you a case. Hell nah. These days, you treat that like the dog she is. You heard me? In a real way. So anyways, he responds, he writes, I can help with some parts of it, not all of it. Let's bargain. So this trick is still trying. And then she responds, she writes, when I get a great BF, I'll share all the links to the good stuff. But here's the most dastardly, crazy part of it all. You have the nerve to post this publicly. Use a low down, dirty, dumb, disgusting, dirtbag, dingbat, dumb broad in a real way. Because here's the thing. You talking to a whole bunch of other niggas, right? And these niggas is seeing this story, which lets them know that you're talking to other dudes. Like, I want a real man. I want a boyfriend. I want love. She got all this explicit content out for the whole public. This we dealing with. And so there's two major lessons. There's really a ton if you was paying attention. But the two ones I want you to take home is lesson number one. Don't believe they say. Don't believe a damn thing because they all got the same story. They all want a monogamous relationship, which is ironic because when you meet them, there's nothing monogamous about these. They talking like 50 niggas at once. And number three, they're all addicted to attention. And the things that we're addicted to, we have trouble giving up. They're addicted to Tinder. You think when you get in a relationship with her, she still don't have a fiending appetite for that Tinder attention, that validation? You think that still doesn't want to post a story half naked and get all them goddamn likes? Come on. And get niggas sliding their DMs? No, they're addicted to that. Huh? Yeah, they are addicted to that. Sometimes things you do repetitively, you just can't give it up. It stays in you. Like, for example, when I used to hustle, like when I was 16, when I was in high school, I never used to go to school on time. I always used to miss my first couple of periods because I was out hustling. You heard me? I'm out bending corners in LA and Hollywood. And as I matured and I stopped doing the things I was doing, I would be up late at night feeling antsy, like I needed to be on the scene, like I need to be doing something, taking some risks, making some money, because I'd done that so long. I'd done that so consistently. It became a part of me. Tinder is addictive. It's a love casino. It is designed with the same principle as slot machines, and it's documented. Social media is a pill, a drug for the psyche, especially that of the female. The nigga right here talking crazy to them. He's still in the game. She's still engaged. And hey, you need her to be engaged, or you could drop a little game on her, drop a little bit of information. Yeah, he could still get her to come hang out. Only problem is that this nigga is a trick by nature. So if she go hang out with this nigga, she gonna end up finessing him because he's leading with his wallet. They have no soul and they are of no value and they're only worth a one night stand. She'll end up getting pregnant at some point, be a single mother, probably have 3 or 4 kids, and live in endless poverty and pretty much create a cycle of that for her kids. Anyways, peace to the saints.